Hi. Okay, so you came here looking to find out how to draw a head. Great, you're in the right place. I have a head right here. Actually, I have two heads right here. The biggest problem with drawing portraits is people say, I want to learn how to draw a face. They get caught up in the face, and the face is one tiny part of it. I mean, if you look at my head, this occupies just like 1/4 of the size of my entire head. So instead of thinking about it as drawing a face, drawing a portrait, drawing a person, what if you thought about it as light hitting planes, light and shadow creating planes? So that way you're almost thinking of the head as landscape, as still life. I mean, right now I've got this side, light, shadow, light, shadow, light, mid-tone, bounce light. It just travels across. It's so much easier to think of it like that. So where I want to start at is ignoring the features and drawing the topography of the head, the ins and outs, the crevices, the lights, the shadows, these kind of things. I'll show you. Here I'm only treating this as a map to how light's falling across the face. So you've got the light raking across, casting shadows. So it's light and shadow across every little bump. There's the light side and the shadow side. The key here is that I'm not drawing features to start. I'm keeping it more generalized. Triangles and wedges for the eye socket, for the cast shadows. It's so much easier to go back and turn that into the eye than to start with drawing two ovals. Taking it from the blur of an eye socket to an eye really is just a matter of carving in the darks of the eye and erasing back out the lights. Here's a quick run through of the proportions of a head. All right, so the eyes, the eye line falls midway between chin and the crown of the head at the very top of the skull, not hair, skull. Then you can measure how wide one eye is and compare it to the space between the eyes, and that they're usually the same. And then your other eye should be the same size as your last eye, unless it's not. And then it's the same eye measurement from the side of the eye to the side of the head. Ballpark. People's heads get different. Right. You can also measure the width of an eye and compare that to how long the nose is. I say it's from the eye line to the tip of the nose. It's not beneath it. It's not above it. Unless it is, because this is all cartilage here and very flexible and very shiftable for every person. So who knows how the nose is actually shaped. Noses can be longer and shorter and wider than all the systems I'm giving you. And it's those differences that make people interesting. All right? So the nose on me, which is all I really care about, the nose on me is one eye wide, just fine. And it's one eye from midline of eyes to tip of the nose, tip of nose to middle of the mouth, middle of mouth to chin. That's the quick facial thing. It all changes once I go 3/4, right? These stay the same. These stay one eye difference, like separation in between each one. But now I've got this foreshortening issue with this eye is bigger than this eye because this eye is closer to the camera, closer to the viewer. So you have to compensate for that. That now, how wide this eye is becomes my standard, and the distance between gets a little bit shorter. This eye back here can get cropped by the bridge of my nose, and this eye back here gets much smaller. Okay? Okay. Now the goal for this drawing is to look for a band across the face that you can really focus on. You can let the rest of the head fall away into obscurity. I don't even care if you have a mouth or a forehead, but that that band of like the eyes and the brow and the bridge of nose and all that is a perfect place to look for the ins and outs of lights and darks across the head. So you want to have a good raking light source on whatever image you choose, and start to lay it in through quick lights and darks. Smudge it all down, do it again. I keep coming back to the darks of the eye sockets. Any place I have a dark around the head, the hair, the eye sockets behind the bridge of the nose, any of that, I keep laying in dark and wiping it down, laying in dark, wiping it down. I'm really trying to build up a range of darks I can really start to eventually pull lights out of. But it's an easy time to just layer in dark. Again, I'm not drawing eyeballs. I'm drawing eye sockets. Eventually I can come back and start to carve light out. And I may even take a few missteps along the way and go for the whites of the eyes too soon. And it's terrible. So you quiet down, you go back to the darks again. And you're focusing on how the light is hitting the skin, how the light is hitting the brow, the cheeks, the nose, all that. You're really waiting on the eyeball itself until you have a good basic structure of the head. And then go for it. Try it out. Lay it in. You lay in all the darks of the eye, the pupil, the lashes, the structure, the shadows cast by the round eyeball itself. You lay it all in. Truth be told, I got too excited on this drawing. I went past my initial parameters. I wanted that band around the face, around the structure of the eye sockets. But I kept getting seduced by the nose or the cheeks or the hair. I'm a sucker for drawing hair. I counted that hair that was right in my band as part of it. So that's fine. You can go as specific or as general as you want to. I say keep your focus around the eye socket. And if you need to pick up part of a nose or a cheek or a brow or a hair to have it feel whole, okay, but you're not drawing a full-on head. It's too much. I want your attention to stay in one place. You're gonna keep coming back to it again. You can draw the rest of it with a dirty chamois. You can smudge that in. You can put it down and knock it down again, but my image had curls, so what are you gonna do? You gotta draw curls. Remember you're measuring. You're measuring the eyes against each other. That one eye in front, the one eye closest to you is bigger than the space between and bigger than that last eye. You gotta keep the measuring going. When you choose an image, make sure it has good light and shadow. It can be from an online source. It can be a photo that you have, a photo you take. It can be from a mirror and a light. Keep the head to life size or just smaller. Things get weird when they become larger than life size. And focus on the band of values that run across the head. Pick one part that's the area of focus. The rest of it can fall away into obscured marks, to smears and quiet places. Your tools are Vine charcoal and compressed charcoal. I start with Vine, I build up, I knock it down, I build up, I knock it down. I really rough in all of my values with Vine and let it build up for a while. Then when I start to need better darks, I bring in the compressed. I'm using my brush to knock it down. I'm using my paper towel to smear it out. And my eraser to bring the light back and forth, back and forth. Now remember, don't think of this as drawing a portrait. You're drawing a part of a head. That's it. The rest of it can be implied, fade away, or just not touched. Okay, you got this. Go play.